completely. I'll wait. I'll be here.
Notification just got sent out.
Technology. You would think I'd have a better handle on my YouTube channel, and I don't. I really don't. My thing was in portrait mode or landscape or whatever it was, and then I go to fix it, and it's like, no, you cannot fix it. You must start again. And my lighting is reflecting off of my glasses, so I have to tilt my head down. But anyway, so I apologize. I know I was supposed to go live at 3, which is my typical time that I have set for this. But today, What the Paranormal had a very important stream. Michigander Man Rob had a premiere, and Unknown Ventures Robbie had a premiere today that I really wanted to be a part of. So I moved my stream to a more conducive time that would permit me to be there for everybody and still be able to get my stream done. So, yeah. Um, if you haven't subscribed to What the Paranormal, please do that. And then please also um, go to her most recent premiere, which was a prayer tribute. No, it wouldn't be tribute, but it was a prayer moment, a montage for our dear friend and brother, the traveling buddy, who is currently really, really ill right now and needs all the prayers that we can possibly give him. So, if you have a moment and it is within you to do so, please send lots of healing and strengthening prayers to our good friend, the traveling buddy. And when I'm done with this, I will go ahead and link his channel in the description box below. Please make sure that you check out his channel, give it a subscribe, watch a few of his videos. He has an amazing Christmas playlist um, that will definitely get you into the spirit. Christmas was his favorite holiday. It was pretty obvious. At least it was one of his favorite holidays, if not his favorite holiday. And he has an amazing playlist that is very festive and that will definitely get everybody into the spirit. I once upon a time had a stream before this that was scheduled and it messed up and I had to restart the stream. So I had pinned in my pinned post that I typically don't greet when I'm doing a live stream that involves readings because it detracts my attention from the reading itself, therefore displacing my energy, and the readings aren't as clear or precise as they can be or should be. So what I do is I allow my wonderful moderators, all those people with the wonderful wrenches in blue, and they will greet you with all my love and attention that I would normally be giving you myself. And if you have any questions or if there's a problem and you need a moderator's assistant, please feel free to ask any of them to assist you, whether it's with a link to something or issues with somebody within the chat. They're absolutely there for you. And they are being awesome right now and pinning all those wonderful links for Buddy's channel along with his playlist and everything else. So I definitely want to make sure everybody's checking that out. And like I said, if it's within you to say a prayer for him or to give prayer for somebody, please give prayer for our wonderful brother, Buddy, who right now is in the hospital and is not in the best of situations right now. He's in critical care and we definitely want him to pull through because he's not done traveling with all of us. And we definitely want to see more of his travels, and I want to see more of his videos. And I send so much love and hellos to everybody popping into the chat right now. I see all of you. And like I said, if you haven't subscribed to Buddy, please do so. Please give his videos likes. Please leave comments. Give him lots of well wishes. We want him coming back to all of us and seeing all the love and all of us missing him and enjoying him. And I definitely want to see him hit 1K as a huge surprise and something that'll get him back into the spirit of things. So please do so. The other thing, the all signs readings that I've been doing, I've decided that Mondays would be, I'll do a weekly all signs reading. I also will be doing the uh, individual readings for each sign for the month of December. I haven't started recording those yet. I was supposed to this week and I just haven't had the time. But also, we are redoing the office or the filming room or the studio, whatever we've decided to call this wonderful space. We're going to get rid of the big comfy couch that isn't so big and has no longer become comfy. And we are going to be replacing it with a big old desk so that both Fluff and I can do the streaming that we need to do. In the future, we'll be upgrading some camera equipment, so we will no longer be streaming from our phones specifically, which is what we have been doing. And yeah, so also, if you have not checked out my amazing, handsome fiance's channel, you can go and do that now or after this. Yeah, do it after this. Go check out Exploring with Fluffy, give his videos some likes, and show him that love as well, because he's got some really cool things in his latest one, which was edited by me, which was his first trip to Disneyland in California. So it was a really cool video. I'm pretty amateur when it comes to editing, and I give my best. I try. So there's a few of my novice works on his channel, and you can also see me go explore the paranormal, do some very green thumbed urbexing with him and things like that. We have had a couple of really fun adventures, going to different places and stuff like that. You can definitely go check those out. Like I said, check out What the Paranormal Amy, check out The Traveling Buddy, check out Wicked Cryptids. There's a lot of people in the chat right now, and they can drop links to their channels if they would like to do so, and let people go ahead and check out what they've got going on, because there's a lot of amazing content creators out there. And we are in the month of December, which is a huge month for giving and for sharing, and I would like for everybody to be able to share their stuff with everybody else and take the time to do that. And like I said, if there's any issues with anything, anybody that's in blue will help you out in any way that they can. And with that being said, we will get on to the readings. So I got a new deck. It's not here. It was here. It's not here. It got put away. But my wonderful friend Sarah from 8th House sent me a care package today. And it is this awesome shirt. It says horror on it. It's really cute. I didn't wear it today. I was going to, but I didn't. And she sent me a tarot deck. It's one she released last year, but I didn't have it. It's the Prism Tarot, and I wanted to use it tonight, but I kind of want to give it a unboxing and an actual reveal. So I didn't do that. I haven't done that yet, so I'm not using it tonight. See, it's still in the plastic. But it's really cool. It's one, I've seen it used before and things like that, and I do advocate this one for new readers, because it's not traditional in the Rider-Waite system per se, in the sense of like it doesn't have, swords and the traditional suiting like swords, wands, etc. What it does have is things like clouds and gems and stuff like that. And she also has a keyword on the bottom of each card. So if you're learning how to read and you're more into that, I'm going to read it based off of perception versus by the book, even though you could do that with this deck. But if you're doing it more intuitively, it gives you that opportunity for that. So I kind of want to do a full review to kind of give that respect, and also show some of my decks that I use and recommend for teaching and what I would recommend for somebody new to the tarot and the reasons why I would recommend it. So we're not using this tonight. As soon as I get the review up, we'll start using it. Instead, what I decided to pull out was my very first tarot deck that I ever owned. And I'm going to give you a little bit of the backstory on it real quick. This tarot deck is roughly 45 years old. And how it came into my possession was it was gifted to me. And if you know anything about the tarot and the history of the tarot, they say that you're supposed to acquire your first deck two ways. It's either supposed to be given to you or you're supposed to steal it. Yeah, you're supposed to steal it. Because way back when, tarot decks were not something that you came across easily. And there was very few in existence. So how you got them was somebody thought you were worthy of having them and they gifted it to you, or you would break into like a gypsy's wagon and steal her tarot deck because that was the way she made money. And so those were the two ways you were supposed to come across them. So I had no idea of that until I got more into the history of the tarot. But this one was given to me. It's actually what would be known as a heritage deck because it's been passed on from it wasn't just bought and then given to me. It was passed on from somebody else and then given to me. So it came from my aunt and then it went to my mother and then it went to me. So I've held on to this for quite some time. I first acquired it when I was roughly 15 years old. And my mom, at first, she wanted to give it to me, and then she didn't want to give it to me, and then she wanted to give it to me because it came from her sister, so she didn't want to do it. And then she was like, here you go, because I kept stealing it from her. So I kind of got it both ways. It was given and stolen at the same time. But I kept like stealing it from her because I would read the book that was given to her with it, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and learn the tarot. Well, it took me a while. It took me probably 5 years before I dedicatedly decided to read the tarot. So did my first reading at roughly 16 years old for a friend, and believe it or not, a lot of those things came into fruition. And so from there, I had friends going, oh my God, I have to get a reading from you. Didn't charge anything, didn't really know what I was doing a whole lot, did the traditional Celtic cross spreads and stuff like that. And I was just like, okay, well, that's all I know, and that's, did it work? Did it come out? And a lot of people were like, yeah, little things would show up and then stuff would happen like years later. So typically when I read tarot, I read it for either the week or a couple of months, up to maybe like 2 years. Because if we start getting so vast into it and we're trying to go like 10 years out or whatever, you have a lot of free will and a lot can change in that time period. Usually a month or two, possibly up to a year, you can probably predict things a little bit better. But the responsibility here with the tarot is the fact that, like I said, we have free will. And the tarot has to do a lot with energy. And energy is ever flowing and it is ever transitioning. So if I tell you today, this is going to happen to you, and you walk away from this reading going, well, I'm just not going to go in that area where something like that will happen, even if it's a good or a bad situation that I said would happen. If I told you you would hit the winning lottery if you bought the ticket on this day at this time, and you got so excited that you decided to buy it early, well, you're not going to hit the lottery then, are you? But you're like, it's the same batch, it's the same, it shouldn't matter. Well, yeah, it kind of does. So if you do things out of step, it changes the whole thing. So you kind of have to understand that if you go left instead of right, everything changes. Some of the major things may not change, but some will change. And sometimes what is called romanticizing things, which is we fixate on it. And we're like, you said it's going to happen. This is going to happen. So you actually stop doing the natural flow of things that would have occurred because someone gave you a reading and you are fixating on that reading. You're taking it at 100% value. So what you want to do is forget. If you have a great reading that you really want to happen, forget it ever happened. Do the things you would normally do if you had never ever heard that reading. It's very hard for most people to do, especially when it's something you're almost craving. You want to happen so bad that you're like, I want that, I want that, that your mind starts operating differently. You start acting differently. Things are out of step now. It's out of the natural order that it was going to occur at the time of that reading. So be careful when it comes to readings, whether it's oracle, tarot, Lenormand, any type of divination. You have free will. You can change things, good and bad. Certain things are going to happen regardless. We're going to get old, we're going to pass away. Those things happen regardless, right? No matter which step we take. But if we take certain steps the wrong way, we can make that happen sooner or later. So, with that being said, and that little history of everything, let's get on to your readings, shall we? Oh, and by the way, it's just a traditional old school Rider-Waite. That's what it is. It's got a few cards that are bent. There's some that are faded, but majority-wise, since I've had it, I've taken really good care of it. It's more flimsy than most of my cards, but it just has an aged charm, and it's got the energy of thousands of readings that I've done in it. So when I pull this deck out, it's usually because I want to give a specific type of reading. But what I'm doing today is because in honor of the traveling buddy and all the roads that he's ever taken. This has been on every road with me. And I want to honor him that way. So, buddy, when you do see this, this is for you. Okay? On we go. So, going down the list, we're just starting with Aries like we normally do. And let's get it going, huh? So, is there Aries here today? If they're not, they show up, right? And yes, I do have a style for shuffling, and I have a way of knowing how many times to shuffle. I'll explain that in future videos, how I do pretty much everything that I do. Now, don't get it twisted. My way is never going to be your way or the other person's way. This is a system I've developed in the 20 years that I've been reading, 20 plus years that I've been reading the tarot. So my way helps. It's just not everybody's way. Take what works and leave the rest, I say, or develop new. So once again, this is a general reading, so it's not going to resonate with everyone. If it does resonate with you, awesome, awesome. If it doesn't, check your moon sign, check your ascension sign, check your Venus sign if you're looking for something to do with love. There is not just, oh, I was born a Capricorn. Okay, well, I also have Sagittarius in my chart, so sometimes a Saggy reading works for me. So if you've never done your natal charting, that helps when you're doing anything in astrology and Wicked. I'm supposed to do your natal chart. I have not forgotten. It is coming. They just take me a little bit of time to do because I have to kind of explain everything to you and get into those details that you're really looking for. But I do have you on my list of people that I'm doing the natal charting for. So it is coming. Don't worry, brother. All right. So Aries. Let's see what messages we've got for Aries. And that popped out really quick, so... For Aries, I have the Four of Swords, the High Priestess in reverse, and I have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So with that, what I'm seeing here is you were in a period where you were kind of just going to and fro in life. You were working on stuff. You were, you were in an emotional or mental battle at some point. Thinking that you kind of knew what you were doing with stuff, only to find out not really. In the grand scheme of things, sometimes we think when we're pursuing jobs, when we're pursuing anything, any type of endeavor or goal, we think we have it all. And then at some point, one wheel can fall off the train and completely derail us. And when that happens, we find out that we really were not as precise in everything as we thought we were. So you're coming into a period where you thought you had it all together and maybe you didn't. You know, in the grand scheme of things, maybe you really didn't. And your balance is off. You were working so hard on something that you were working so hard to make something the way you needed it to be that you kind of threw the baby out with the bathwater. Does that make sense? And at the bottom of the deck is the Five of Pentacles. A lot of people tell you with this card it means being left out in the cold. And in some cases it can mean that. That's more of an intuitive, pardon me, things are sticking to my lip oil, like my hair. That's more of an intuitive reading of this card. What it does mean is two people that are weathering the storm together. So, you know, no matter how depleted you feel right now, they're outside of a church. They're outside of the solitude. They know that there's something there for them. Like there is going to be a solitude outside of the storm. There is going to be something there for you outside of everything that you're facing right now. Okay. And sometimes that has to do with a partner or things like that, you know, companionships, anything that's cohesive with another person, tangible things. That is Pentacles. So in the point that you thought you had it all and you lost all of your footing, just know that you are battling something that is going to have a response. May not be the one you want, but it is definitely one that works best for you in the grand plan of things. So hopefully that made some sense. Okay. And hopefully the footing and guidance you need, which I'm getting the idea that you already know what you need to be doing. You know what mistakes you made. You'll be able to find your light in the heavy, because it is there. You just got to find it, and you need to take the time out to rectify and amend things. Okay? All right, Taurus. Taurus. What have we got going on for our wonderful Tauruses for the next week? Okay? So this is supposed to be a reading for December 6th through the 10th, or 12th, right? Right, yeah. It's somewhere. I had it written down somewhere. Whatever next Sunday is. All right, Taurus. What have we got going on? All right, we'll stop in there. All right, Three of Pentacles to the Hangman to the Page of Wands. Three of Pentacles, working together positively in a group setting. Some people will tell you this means a third-party situation. And they usually mean that in the sense of relationships where a third person has come into the mix, but that's not always what this means. It usually means when you're working on a group project together, you got the Pentacles here. That's always like your tangible things like money. You know, things that are existing in the tangible world, the physical world. So working together well with somebody in that setting. Or this could be you at your job where you're really happy with everybody that you're working with. Things like that. So you're kind of coasting through things. You're kind of just sitting there going, I'm happy, I'm watching, I'm observing, I'm not going anywhere. I'm kind of just sitting there watching it happen, like watching things go. You're not really in there's no go get moment for you yet. There is going to be an offer of movement though. You've got the Page of Wands, and this is fast, fiery energy. Okay, it's not necessarily something that, it sounds really good. It's fiery. It's got that fiery energy, but it's a page. So it's more juvenile. So just because it looks good and it sounds good, does that mean it is good? Not always. Sometimes it does, not all the time. So Judgment is at the bottom of the deck. You got to make a decision, but it's one of those things where somebody comes up to you and they're like, Okay, so do you want to call out sick from work and we're all gonna bail and go to like Disneyland? You know, yeah, that sounds really cool, right? Until your boss found out that you left early not because you were sick, but because you went to Disneyland. Okay, so you got wrote up for it, or you got fired for it because it sounded good. It's like kind of that energy, okay? Not necessarily that situation, but that kind of energy. It's that fast, fiery, juvenile energy. Sound looks very flashy, feels very flashy, but is it flashy? Yeah, it's flashy, but that doesn't mean it's the right move. So right now you're in a situation, I'm getting more of the vibe that this has to do with work and work placement, where you're at in the job field. And you are open to new opportunities, but don't always go with the one that is glittering right now, because not all that glitters is gold, remember? So just because it's like it sounds really cool, that does not mean that it is the right movement for you. You got to do things that are good for you, but you got to do, and we always want people to grow. We definitely don't want to ever be stagnant, but don't get caught up in just the way something looks or the way that you perceive it. Just because it sounds flashy and it's $5 more an hour and this and that, then you get there and find out you don't work well with all these people, and now your job isn't as fun anymore. You feel like you're losing value in yourself because you're going to this job that for $5 more an hour you're now miserable. So you kind of want to look at it in that sense. If this has to do with something like a lover situation and you're just kind of taking a step back and watching you're watching your relationship and you're like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know if I want to stay in this or not. And you're like, I could find a younger, hotter version of what I've got, but that doesn't mean it is the best thing for you. You are going to make a judgment call, but make one that's good for you. All right, Taurus? That seems to be the max of the message I have for you right now for this week. And we're going to go ahead and move on to Gemini. So is there any twins here? Any twins? Any Gemini? My daughter's a Gemini. She's a very, very tried and true Gemini. And yes, it is a ring light. And yes, it is reflecting in my glasses. Kind of didn't anticipate that one a whole lot, or didn't think about that one. There's a smart ass in the chat. And also, if you haven't subscribed to Past Life Explorer, good. I unsubscribed to him the other day for the umpteenth time. I subscribe in the morning to unsubscribe at night. But in all seriousness, if you haven't checked out Past Life Explorer, please do so. And subscribe. It is Christmas. Unsubscribe on New Year's. Gemini. Oh, dang, Gemini got a whole lot of stuff going on. All right. Page of Pentacles in reverse to the Six of Cups to the Death card and the Emperor. Okay, so Gemini, you're not seeing enough progress in the situation that you're in. And you're now thinking backwards. You're now being more nostalgic, and you're like, am I staying in this because of the way I feel because I've been so invested in it? Am I staying in this because I truly belong here, or is it because I've just spent so much time here, whether that's a job, a relationship, anything, truthfully. Right now you're really sitting there thinking about, I'm just, it's not working for me, but I can't leave. I can't change. I can't. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting. You've got the Death card with the Emperor as your outcome. And what I'm seeing here to the Ace of Cups is you're really wanting to move on from whatever this is. Like that truly, you got to get out of the, truth be told, you got to get out of the situation where you've got this really horrible bossy dictator all over you, because that's just killing your vibe. That's killing your forward movement. And once you do get out of that, you have a beautiful new opportunity right there. So don't stay into something because you feel like I've been here so long. That that mentality is like the death of dreams. Like I can't change because, or I can't leave because I'm invested. You know, whether it's a marriage that you've been in, you're like, well, but we're married and we have children and we have this and we have that. And okay, let me tell you this much. That used to be me. That was very much me. It was like, oh, this was where I'm supposed to be because I'm married, and there's commitment and my vows and that means a lot. Integrity means a lot. But you have to sit there and wonder where the integrity is coming from. You know, you have to sit there and wonder what's feeding the integrity and actually what's draining from it. Because if the integrity is draining your soul, is it really your integrity? Is it really the right move for you? And I can tell you this much, your integrity can be the death of you sometimes. So sometimes it's really good to sit there, maybe write a pros and cons list. If your con list is way, way longer than your pros list, your integrity is choking you out. Now, is it your integrity or is it your ego? Because your ego really doesn't have a strong place in you when it comes to making your path go forward. Okay, ego is okay in some situations, but not many. Thinking, oh no, I'm all that and I'm amazing, and you really tooting your own horn and staying in a relationship because you're like, no, 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 I have to stay in this because I made a commitment. And maybe that that you're with is, you know, there's money involved or anything like that, security. um it's not worth it. You know what, even if it's a job, what, maybe it's a relationship with a family member. You know, maybe you have a family member that you're helping out way more than you should be and you're actually being an enabler. And what sucks in those situations is you can be so helpful to somebody that when the flip comes around and they're not pulling their weight and you cut them off, they actually tend to blame you. They will come back and say, you're the reason I didn't go forward because you helped or you enabled me or you gave them that comfort that allowed them to be stagnant in their energy. And they blame you for that. Isn't that crazy? But it happens. So, the advice I can give you on this simply and solely is realize a bad investment and cut the loss. Okay? Simple as that. All right, moving on to Cancer. That was a pretty intense Gemini reading. Let's see how Cancer goes, huh? All right. Okay. Cancer, you got the Empress in reverse, the World in reverse, and your outcome is the Ace of Wands and the Chariot. All right, so you're in a bad cycle. And you're not really feeling like you have a strong place within the family dynamic or within just any dynamic, friendship wise, lover wise, anything like that. You know, you're just, the Empress is typically depicted as, you know, female, feminine energy, and she is somebody who is very motherly and she's involved and you know, she's that coddling energy, and you know, but she has her strengths. You know, she's like any other mom, right? But she's in reverse right now, so she's out of her element. The World card in reverse, you know, cycles, things are Things aren't going to and fro the way they should be, right? And then you got the Ace of Wands in the Chariot. Move on to that new energy. You got the Hierophant, and the Hierophant sometimes can mean marriages, sometimes can just mean any of those more spiritual commitments, okay? Because he is a priest. So if you've got a commitment that you're wrapped up in and you're just not feeling you, I know this is a season where, you know, things are transitioning, things are kind of becoming, you know, it's winter, so things are dying to become anew in the spring. But right now, you don't need to stay in something that's a dead end because you just can't find your way out of it. Okay? Cycles are there for a reason. And if you're having a falling out with somebody, if you're, you know, you got your masculine energy, you're having a falling out with someone of feminine energy, you know, male, female, whatever you want to call it, just know that going forward is actually going to yield you a more positive result. So if that means that you need to go forward with exiting, maybe that's the case that you need to follow. But also, if you are somebody who needs to go forward with more positive movement towards a relationship, towards a situation, you need to be doing that too. You need to be feeding things that actually uplift you spiritually, that actually ascend you. And if you're not doing that, then you're not doing that. And you can't blame anybody but yourself if that's what you're doing. Point blank, period. Alrighty. So, Cancer, do the work that you should be doing. Whether it's spiritually, whether it's emotionally, mentally, whatever the case may be, you need to be doing that. You need to be enriching your emotional and spiritual commitments. If you're not feeling it, or you're not feeling that that other person's as committed, there might be a reason for that. And you definitely have a place in it, and it's telling you to kind of sit there, take a step back, take a look at things, and figure out what your role is in the situation and how you are either not feeding it or how you are not empowering it. Okay? Because that's what you need to be doing. And if that means exiting a situation in order to learn from it, go and figure out what you need to do for that. Or it could also, like I said, mean that you need to be pulling your weight, whether that's getting, you know, some marriage counseling because you know, my marriage is rocky. Knowing that you need the counseling and actually doing it is two different things. You know, I need to be a better mentor to my children, to my employees, anything like that. So no, that is something coming out of my nose. I do have a septum piercing. I always tuck those back in, so there you go. It's magic. But you need to enrich your commitments. You need to enrich your strengths. Yeah, that was so unclassy, wasn't that? Yeah. All right, Leo. So let's see what we got going on for this week for our awesome Leo gang. I need to take a Benadryl tonight. I have been sneezing like crazy and I have been itching my face. I don't know if I have like gotten to something that I was allergic to or what the case may be, but I have been, like, you've seen it, I've been like itching my nose like crazy, and I have a little bit of a rasp to my throat. So what I'm thinking is, I don't know, something might be in the air. We have horrible air quality in California, and there's always something going on. There is always something that is making my freaking throat itch. And yeah. So Leo. Ooh, cards be flipping for the Leos. Wheel of Fortune to the Emperor to the Tower card. Bottom of the deck. Two of Swords. So making decisions. Decisions need to be made. You need to make a decision. You need to make a call on something. You're involved in a very karmic-based situation, and you can try rebuilding this all you want. But the thing is, if you're not doing things properly and disciplining yourself and actually following through with the structure of things, you're going to repeat things over and over again. There is a reason why we keep having, rises and falls, is because you're not listening to when people give you advice, you're not following the directions when they give it to you. So you're like, okay, here we go again. And you keep running up the hill and tumbling back down, right? So you need to make a call. Are you going to keep doing this your entire life, or are you actually going to sit there and follow through with things? Take the punishments in order to gain the successes, okay? Quit trying to weasel your way out of things, trying to deviate from a path or take the road that's shorter. There is a benefit in doing things the right way. Just because there's an easier way doesn't mean that that is the way we should be doing it. All right? Quit trying to cut corners on everything. You keep repeating the same cycles every time, and there's a reason for that. Because you keep trying to deviate from the natural order of things, and you're trying to, take these shortcuts that just aren't working. You're missing the mark because you're taking these shortcuts. And you're not following through with what the universe is trying to teach you. If you don't study for the test, yes, you can still pass a test, but you didn't learn anything, right? If you don't go to the class, you can still technically pass the test at the end of the semester, but you probably won't retain the knowledge as well, right? So that's what I'm getting from this. Whatever the situation that you're in, there's a reason that it keeps repeating. There's a reason why those cycles keep happening. And that's because, anytime someone gives you the advice, knowledge, whatever, you keep finding yourself going, okay, I'll use what I want out of it and I'll kind of leave the rest of it there. And when we do that, we're not following through all the way. Just because the load is heavy doesn't mean you don't carry it. Okay? It's meant to be heavy. It's work. Work is supposed to be work. You can't just weasel your way out of it because it sucks. Yeah, your mom made you eat your vegetables for a reason, right? That's the same type of principle. All right. So, Leo, if there's a situation that you notice keeps repeating itself, there's something that keeps happening in your life, do your shadow work. Figure out what it is about. It's going to suck. It always does. But figure out what it is about you. Put that mirror in your face and go, what role am I playing in this that it keeps happening to me over and over and over again? Sometimes we don't even want to do that. We don't even want to look in the mirror because playing the facade sometimes is easier. And if you're going to keep having this facade and keep putting up the fake and putting up the, anything that just isn't genuine, yeah, it's easier. It lightens the blow, but it doesn't mean that it's real. And when we do the easy things, sometimes when we take the road less travel, we're missing the lesson in traveling the entire road. All right? So, to that I say, man it up, do what you need to be doing, and stop trying to vacate from what is in the natural order for you. Alrighty, so the next sign that we're reading for is our wonderful Virgos. Alright, so Virgos, what have you got going on this week? I know what my Virgo has going on this week. Fluff? Are you comfortable? Kind of. He's laying on the floor. Hey, Patriot. I haven't seen you in a bit. Sorry, I normally don't say hi to people I know. And I just totally, went against my own rule. But I hardly see Patriot anymore. It's very rare. So I just say hi. Alrighty. So, Virgo. What's our messages for Virgo for the week? Magician card, Temperance to the Seven of Swords. All right. The bottom of the deck, you have this has come out twice so far in the readings tonight. And I think both times it was bottom of the deck, Five of Pentacles. All right, so the Magician card. We all love the Magician because the Magician is using everything in him properly. He's manifesting things. He's making all kinds of things happen. He is in control. All right. He's in control of every time he falls. He's in control of every time he rises. He knows the benefit of both. He's learning his lessons and he is doing what needs to be done in his world. He's making it happen. All right. Just like you're like a typical magician, he knows I dare I say, he knows what spells to cast. He knows how to manifest. He knows how to make a situation better when it's really bad. He knows what work needs to be put into things. He is a natural manifester. He can make the good and the bad happen. To the Temperance card, Balance. Learning that everything happens in its unique timing and everything happens for a reason. You see how the angels pouring water into the cups, easily dividing things, making things happen. It's all in divine timing. That's the true preference of that card. And knowing why bad things happen, why people take from you, why people give to you, why people do what they do, why situations happen the way they do. And this is a really good reading in the sense of that you know and you've learned and you're continuing to learn, but now you're putting it into practice. Okay. And there's times where you felt, I wasn't, with this bottom of the deck energy, there were times where you felt you were left out in the cold. You felt that, the world was passing you by. You felt that things were out of their natural order for you, or, everybody else is having a great time and I'm still sitting here doing all the work. There is a reason for everything. And I think now you're figuring out why all that stuff happened. Yes, you missed all those boats because your ship was coming in. And guess what? Sometimes when we wait, our ships are bigger. And you ended up with a real prize while everybody else was chasing whatever came. Have you ever met remember high school? I know some of us do, right? Remember in high school, all those people that were driving the fancy cars because their mama and daddy were buying them nice stuff. And they came to school and they had the expensive clothes and they had this and they had everything, right? They had it all. And now you see them and they're in debt because they had to keep up with the Joneses, because in high school they were the shit. Okay, I'm gonna say it, I'm sorry. They were the shit, and so as adults they wanted to continue being the shit. And so they bought like $60,000 and $70,000 cars that they couldn't afford just because it looked cool. And they're really, really in debt. And yeah, you're sitting there going, I didn't need the fancy damn car because I'm okay with my Toyota Corolla. No downs on the Toyota Corollas. But you're sitting there and you're like, I'm okay with the car that gets me where I need to go, that is reliable. And you're sitting there going, I ain't in as much debt as you are. Haha. And they're sitting there and they can barely they can't have any emotions on their face because it's all full of Botox and all that stuff. And you're sitting there going, I don't need to worry about looking all like that because you look like a mannequin and I'm a real person, and you're out there having a good time. You're out there living your best life. And meanwhile, they're sitting there pumping all kinds of money into a pipe dream that's not coming into fruition because life's not about that. And so what I'm seeing here is things may not have happened for you right away. And you may have sat there crying at night. You may have sat there going, why? When's it going to be my turn? And now you're like, yeah, it didn't happen then because the universe knew when to give it to me. They knew when I was going to respect it the most. And now I've got the tools and the strength because you've been through those downs and you've been through those lows to where you can actually enjoy a high. You can actually enjoy your happiness because if you don't ever know what sadness feels like, you're never going to enjoy true happiness. You're always going to be looking for something. You're always going to be going, I need to feel happy. I need to feel more. I need to feel more. I need to feel more. And the Grinch in the cartoon learned it at the end. Happiness doesn't come from a store, it comes from within. And some people spend their whole lives not learning that. And you, Virgo, you learned it. Whatever age may be, it's never too late. It's never too late to learn. The greatest gift in life is living life. And if that means you're living life, I know people that have got $25 in the bank, happy as hell. And I know people that have got $20,000 in the bank and they're miserable. Okay? If everything you pursue in this life is something that relies on something else, you need to reevaluate what you're doing, because it's not living, it's existing. All right? But my wonderful Virgo gang, it looks to me that you learned that lesson. So if you run into the high school people, just, do the hair toss and go, how's that debt feeling? Anyway, Libras. Where are my Libras at? Is there any Libras in my chat tonight? If not, they show up later. Whenever you run into this reading, it may not resonate for you now, but it may resonate for you later. Sometimes you have to go back and watch that reading again, because you're like, hey, I remember when that tarot and tea lady says something and she tossed her hair and all that, and it didn't make a lick of sense then, and you go back and read it and it made perfect sense. Yeah, okay. So here we go. Libras. Alrighty. Remember we talked about the Magician? Okay, well, he's back, but he's in reverse. It happens. The Magician in reverse. When he's like this, he's in control. He knows what he's doing. He's putting out positive well, not always positive. He's just putting out the proper manifestation. When he is in reverse, he is a shady man. And I was going to say mofo, but I just did. So he is shady. He is putting out some shady business. So this could mean that you're like, you know what? I'm going to pretend to be karma. And because you've done me wrong, I'm going to do this and, spoil something for you. Don't do it. Right here, you're feeling like missed opportunities are, you don't understand why you're having these missed opportunities. You're getting it looks to me like you're like, I'm getting fed up with doing all this work, and it's not coming for me. It's not happening for me. And I feel like everybody else is, going somewhere in this world and I'm not. And this, versus the Virgos, Libra, you probably have a little more polishing up to do on yourself. But at the bottom of the deck, you have the Two of Wands, and that is that forward moving energy. He is actually holding the world in his hands, and he's looking. He knows what he needs to be doing, and yet, you know what you need to be doing, but you're not doing it the right way. This is, you know how to work hard, but are you working hard the right way? Don't be the person keeping up with the Joneses. Don't be the person getting in mountains of debt just because you have the credit to do it. You might have a good credit score, but if you're going to go max out your credit cards, it doesn't stay perfect, does it? So the reason why you feel like you're having all these missed opportunities or these missed moments is you're not doing it for the right reasons. Do things for the right reasons and good things come. Like attracts like. You can't put nasty out in the world and then expect all this good to come. And if you're going to be two-faced about it, that's not any better. When you're vibing low, I give you a little story. So if you follow me on Twitter, hold on, there's a tea moment. you follow me on Twitter, there was a dirty little elf that is running around and reporting all my dang tweets. And today, karma came. And the wonderful people of the Twitter world decided to message me or email me back because I kept on like appealing all my tweets because they kept getting like these nasty, stupid, like suggestive warnings on them and all this nonsense. So anyway, they came back and they're like, we realize that a picture of a Christmas tree is not sensitive material unless you're real sensitive about Christmas. So what they did was they said that it was, reports were coming in from the same similar people, so I guess a whole group of them were doing it. Oh well. But they said that they are flagging those profiles for violations of terms of service of Twitter because Twitter doesn't like it when you send them a bunch of nonsense because they get a lot of nonsense anyway. And they need to invest their time in being able to respond to those that actually are violating terms of service or violating their policies of Twitter. So they went and they've marked those profiles that were doing the flagging. So just when you think you're being a shady bad person and nothing good comes from me and blah 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 and I do all this hard work and I don't see my future being what I need to do better. Be a better person. If you're going to put nasty out there, how are you going to get good back? If you're not sitting there and being humble is a big part of doing what we do in this world. Understanding that things are going one way for that person for their own reasons, that's their path. But if it's not happening that way for you, that's okay, because that's your path. And just because your brother, got a really awesome paying job and you're struggling a little bit, that's okay. You still applaud him getting an amazing job, even if you're on unemployment and you've been applying places and nothing's happening. You still applaud your brother. You still applaud your fellow man for their accomplishments. And I'll tell you why. Because when we are grateful for the fact that we are struggling, because a struggle is just a moment to help escalate you to the next realm of whatever you do, your next goal. That's all it is. When you are struggling, you need to realize that those are the universe's lessons for you. Call it the universe, call it God, call it whatever you would like. But there is a lesson for you. And if you want to sit there and have these really horrible magician in reverse moments where you're sitting there and you're like, no, I want to be a nasty person and talk smack about people that are doing good, and wondering why things aren't happening for you, why people aren't wanting to be your friend because all you are is negative all the time. Yeah. Well, like I said, like attracts like. And you're going to attract people into your life that are going to keep you vibing really, really low. And nothing good's going to happen. The universe has no option other than to reflect back to you what you put out there. Okay? So if you're going to sit there and say, I wish I had amazing things, the universe is going to give you more of that. It's going to say, I'm going to give you more wish. I'm going to give you more things to wish about. You're stuck in wish mode. Instead of saying, you know what, I'm grateful for the air in my lungs. I am grateful for the fact that I have a bed to sleep in, food in my belly, and, the fact that I have another day to try. And when you sit there and you realize that you have that, you have the opportunities, you have what it takes to manifest, instead of sitting there feeling nasty about it, wanting more all the time. When you stop doing that, this changes. This changes. This reflects. This holds positive outcomes. This brings you more security emotionally. You just have to realize that every time cards are dealt, just because they look bad, doesn't mean you still can't use them in the best way possible. So For my wonderful Libras out there that are sitting there wanting to be conniving, thinking it's actually, oh, well, you know what, everybody else done did it, so I'm going to do it too. No. What works for somebody else doesn't have to work for you. And what is the point of being a follower like that? Why you gotta follow nasty? If somebody's gonna have, here we go. I'll give you an example for that might be a little bit more transparent. When you're mad at somebody, like you're a YouTuber, right? There's some content creators up in here. When you're a YouTuber and you're mad at another YouTuber, do you go onto your lives? Do you go onto your channel, click go live, and then start spewing vomit, word vomit out of your mouth and hate and everything, thinking people are gonna like you? No, it's drama that you're creating, and guess what it's done? It's contaminated your whole channel. You are now the person that is responsible for creating another drama pool and wondering why people associate you with drama and they're not paying attention to the rest of your content. Hmm? So if people start knowing, yeah, that person's really cool. They talk a lot of shit. That's all you're gonna be known for is talking a lot of shit. Bringing that back into your life. Don't do it. Sit there and reflect and deflect and say, you know, I'm gonna sit here and I'm just gonna pray for you. I'm just gonna have a moment where I hope your life is so enriched in amazing stuff that you don't have time for negative. I did it today. I could have taken a moment where I sat there and said how much somebody sucked, how much their negativity was overflowing and spilling onto other stuff. But the truth is, I don't like hating people like that. I don't like doing that stuff. You know why? Because it doesn't do anything for anyone. It certainly doesn't do anything for me. I got enough going on in my dang life on a normal basis that I don't have time to hate some superficial person that has nothing better to do than sit there and click hatred onto others and project it onto others. It says nothing about me. It says everything about them. But you know, hey, when we want to be nasty magicians in reverse, and the universe sits there and goes, oh, here, let me give you some more of that. Guess what? You're going to end up with wrinkles and you're going to end up with gray hair and you're going to end up with a lot less real, genuine friends and a lot less golden opportunities. Okay, all of us have issues, all of us have problems, all of us have nasty in our lives. Just sometimes you don't know about it because that person just sits there and says, hey, I'm not going to bring the focal point to stuff like that. You know, I'm not going to let that be my story, and especially not on your YouTube channels, and especially not on things that matter, that tell your story. Don't put it on your social media. Don't put it on places like we've all done it. Now we've all done it, okay? We've all had slip. We're humans. We've got free will, and we are flawed. And that's okay. Nobody's hating anybody because they had a slip up where they actually called someone out for the crap, okay? It happens. Because sometimes we get tired of it. And we're humans and we blow up. And it's just who we are. And there's nothing wrong with it. But if you can sit back and go, do I want to keep doing that? No, I don't want to keep doing that. Okay, I had a slip up. Okay, that's fine. And you can just move on from there. And then just say, I'm going to try again tomorrow. And if you're genuine in your heart and you're trying really hard, those slip ups will happen a lot less. Okay? All right. So we've made enough of an example of poor Libra. Let's move on to Scorpio. Babe, what you doing? He's had a hard day today. All right, Scorpio. Ooh. I like it. I like it. I like it. You want to like it with me? Let's all like it together. Okay. So, Seven of Swords in reverse, the High Priestess, and the outcome is the Queen of Pentacles. You've got bottom of the deck, you've got the King of Pentacles. So look at, you've got a couple here. So, who in Scorpio's world is this happy couple that are actually working together really, really well, that are that wonderful power team, that are actually putting things into proper focus? So there is somebody out there that says, you know what, the world sucks and the world will cut your throat if you let it. You got the Seven of Swords in reverse. You've been through some shit and you've been trying really hard in this world, and the world gives and takes. Okay, we all know that natural law, there's a lot of give and take out there, and sometimes the world takes more than it should. Now you're getting wise for the weary, because you are, realizing, like, I don't have to be shady. I don't have to accept shady people. I definitely don't have to have the same mentality of these other people. I have more intuition than that. I have more tenace and finesse in life, and I know better. I know who's shady, I know who isn't shady, and I know that what I've got isn't reflected in other people's opinion. Okay? You've got it together. I want to strongly say that this reading really is dedicated to a couple, because it's not always that you're going to get a king and queen of the same suit. These are people in strong cohesion. This is one of those power couples. So good with the tangible things in this world. Family unit coming together, you're holding it down. You know, you just know better than what the world's kicking at you. And this couple's holding it through. And there is some strength. When we have bad situations happen to us, we're facing some obstacles, we're facing some stuff that is just really difficult. Um, you got that partner that is just there. They are just on top of it. They are just the type of person that they read you backwards and forwards, and you read them backwards and forwards. They know when something's missing, and they know how to add that. They know that when you come home from a 10-hour day at work, they know what pajamas to have on the bed for you, the temperature you like your bath, and the food you were craving. Okay, and it's ready and it's there. It's that type of relationship. Maybe not all those things. That does sound like a dream, doesn't it? But you know what? If you can sit back and just think about it and be like, you know what? They are the yin to my yang. They definitely are the person that knows when I'm at 80, or I'm at 20%, they can be at 80. They can pick it up. So if you've got that, and you're in that situation, and it doesn't have to be just a lover. This could be a friendship too. This could be any type of a really strong partnership. Doesn't have to be marriage. Could be boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, best friend, anything like that, where you're just sitting there going, you know what, I've got something that honestly most people wish for. And yes, people will try to blindly tell you what you got ain't right, ain't worth it, ain't this, ain't that, or try to convince you otherwise, or maybe you're seeing a situation and second guessing things, but you know better. You know better. You know where you belong. You know your person. You know your counterpart. You know all that. And you really have it together with this. And there's always going to be, like I said, there's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be a storm before the rainbow. There's sometimes a storm with the rainbow. But it's definitely all about, it's not about weathering the storm, but dancing in the rain. Some of the best moments of your lives actually happen when the worst moments are happening. And the wonderful thing that I love telling people is, if you're in a marriage, a commitment of any sort, find someone you can suffer with. Find someone you suffer well with. Does that sound weird? Give me a second. I'll explain why. Anybody can be together when things are going great. Anybody can make the world amazing when everything's great, when you have all the money in the bank, all the bills are paid, everyone's happy. But is that realistic? No, it doesn't always happen. Things can change at any point. So if you have somebody that when everything is bad, when you come home and you can't figure out if you want to wake up the next day because it's bad, and the person is there, like I said, knowing how you like your bath or shower temperature, knowing your favorite things, rubs your feet, sits there and says, you don't have to speak. You don't have to do anything. I just want to share company with you. I want to share space with you because I'm grateful for you. And no matter how bad it gets, that person is there. They find a way. They will do what it takes. And so many people spend their entire life finding that bond and not knowing why it took so long, anything like that, or what it takes to actually have that bond. That doesn't, you don't just sit there and do a wish and a prayer. God helps those who help themselves, right? You had to go through all kinds of bullshit to prepare you to be the person you needed to be for when that person came into your life. You were all that it took to be the other half of them. And I hate even saying other half because we're whole people. We're never halves. But what it took for those to blend together seamlessly. And struggle be damned, and struggles do come. But that person doesn't be damned, and that person doesn't leave because it's there. And things have its placement no matter how bad it could ever be. So, to my wonderful Scorpios out there that are finding that for the first time in their lives or realizing they have it for the first time in your lives, congratulations. You've actually found the golden chalice. You've found what so many people look for. And not only found it, but you have it. And pardon me. Don't let poison get into your mix. Don't let that stuff overpower you. Don't let those thoughts overtake you. Don't sit there and not realize that with every sweet has a sour. It's just part of our lessons. I mean, there's times where we are, 10 minutes from an eviction notice and no food in the fridge. I mean, we have those times. I've had them, and even when I'm doing great, and Jen does amazing, and she's always positive and she's always this. Well, it took a lot of crap for me to be positive in really horrible situations. And to sit there and say, as long as I'm breathing, I can fight. And that's what this couple is all about. Okay? So, Scorpio, Merry Christmas. You've got the best gift that one could get. Sagittarius gang. No, I don't have spy cameras in anyone's house. Maybe. At least I keep them off, between the hours of 3 and 7 at least. All right, Sagittarius, let's see what's going on here. Let's see what messages you got for this week. Because a Sagittarius needs some answers. Saggies are fiery. They love answers. They love knowing what's going on. I only put spy cameras in certain people's houses because I need the content. That's on Fluffy's second channel. Fluff and stuff. Well, laugh. Alrighty, Sagittarius. Oh. Well, okay, Sagittarius. All right. Typically means celebrations, marriages, things like that. You got it in the reverse. You got the Moon card to the Chariot at the bottom of the deck. We've got the Three of Swords. You ain't got to have that explained to you a whole lot. It is what it looks like. It's a lot of pain, right? So we've got a situation that you're finally getting just fed up with completely. And you're finding out, or you have found out, or you will be finding out. You got the moon card here. Four of Wands in reverse, the moon card to the chariot. The moon card is usually secrets, things hidden. See, it's nighttime. You've got the dogs barking up at the moon. You got things that hide in the shadows. Okay, so that's typically what the moon card will represent. The chariot, that's forward movement. That's, driving your way out of something. It's a chariot. He's in a carriage and he's riding and he's going forward, and he's got the one black sphinx and the white sphinx. He can choose which direction he wants to go in. Right now you're like, no matter what I'm doing, I know I need to make movement, but no matter what I'm doing, I know that I'm not going to feel good about it either way. Whatever it is that you've got going on right now, you're finding things out. You're finding out that, this person, this situation, whatever it was that you thought was going to be amazing, you're finding out it might not be so amazing. Well, someone tell Rob this ain't his message. This ain't for you. But, it's one of those situations where, and it doesn't have to be a romantic partnership or anything like that, even though typically this is the marriage card. It's celebrations and unions and stuff like that. So that's, symbolic of an archway. In the castle in the background, there's a little couple celebrating, you know what I mean? So they're not celebrating. It's in the reverse because we got this moon card. And so someone's thinking, I need to just get out of this. I need to go. And, the truth is maybe you do. Okay? Like I said, you got to do what's right for you. You got to sit there and realize a bad investment and cut the loss sometimes. Okay? You got to do it for you. But whatever it is, you're doing for you. You're not doing it in consideration for the other person. You're not doing it in consideration for anybody else. There are times when we stay in bad relationships for our kids. There are times that we get into relationships for our kids, or for thinking like this is going to have a positive outcome because of this, instead of doing something that, is actually genuinely for us, for our own peace of mind, for the betterment of ourselves, anything like that. So don't stay in bad relationships, bad situations, bad jobs, things like that, because you feel that you're committed to it. Okay, we've already had this talk with another sign. So you're finding out secrets. Things are coming into the light. Things are just not where you want them to be. And it hurts. It sucks. It sucks finding out, you know, it sucks finding out old. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's not a fun experience when you find out people lie, or that they were hiding something from you, or there was just hidden truths, anything like that. But with this chariot card here, you either need to move or you want to, or you need to. And yes, it is going to be painful, but you got to do what you got to do, okay? And if I keep looking into the deck, you got the Sun card, bright new beginnings. So when one door closes, another does open. And it may not feel good in the process. It seldomly ever does. But give your heart and your life a chance. And sometimes doing that means that we got to take those bitters. And that would be the strongest message I have for you is, yes, there probably is emotionally, there is no good way. There's no lesser of the two evils. So with that, you got to do, if somebody else is being nasty and shady and not providing you with a false tongue and not providing you with the truth, don't stick around just because they're, good for one thing. You need to be with somebody who's honest with you and for you. Okay? Because your partnerships, your work relationships, your friendships, they are definitely a reflection of yourself. And you are what you hang with, okay? So I'll just call it like that. All right, Capricorn. strong readings tonight. Nothing wrong with that, though. Sometimes we need that advice. We got a new year coming up, and sometimes we got to do what's called emotional recycling. Out with the old, in with the new, even if that's just thoughts. Even if that's just thoughts. So, Capricorn. Ooh, Capricorn. Bottom of the deck, you have that Queen of Swords in reverse. But you also have the first card drawn as the King of Swords. Okay. Just saying. Just saying. So, King of Swords, that is that very strong, mentally sharp, you know what you need to be doing type of energy. Very strong. It's very masculine. And right now, you're sitting there and you're looking at a situation like there's no positive outcome to it. Right here with the Five of Cups, you see how he's kind of focused on the cups that are spilt, not realizing he's got two upright cups right behind him. So right now, you're in this moment where you've made a judgment call, where you're like, you know what? I'm tired of spilled milk nonsense. I know what I need to be doing. I know what I need to focus on. This could be just simply you're focusing, you're choosing not to focus on error. You're choosing that mentality of, you know what? I may not see the positive right now, but I'm definitely not going to concentrate on the negative. I got better things going on with me. And, sometimes you are making that judgment call of, I just don't want to deal with these mouthy people that just want to talk all day long. And, they have nothing, there's no tenacity, there's no forward movement. They just sit there and run their mouths. And they always say how, they're going to do things and they're all that and blah, blah, blah. And, you're like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with people that are negative. Okay. And that's what I'm seeing right here. It's just, it don't always come out right. It may not always be what people want to hear, but it's definitely what they need to hear. And Capricorn, that's kind of the mentality that you're adapting right now. You're sitting there, and your approach to things right now is if you want to make messes, sit in your mess. I'm done sitting there cleaning up after you. If you want to, essentially, if you want to shit where you sleep, then go ahead. But I ain't cleaning it up for you no more. I'm making that judgment call that if you can talk all the shit about me you want, but that's fine because you're going to be talking shit in your shit. Okay? That's that. All right? And that's very, Capricorns can have that mentality a lot more than we should. I should know because I'm a Capricorn. But it's not easy. We don't like it. It's not like we like sitting there and going, you know what? No. We don't like always having to say no. But what we get tired of is someone always expecting something. If I put out there that I'm willing to do something for someone, stop needing me to do it for you all the time. It's a hand up, not a shoulder to sit on. Okay? If that's a way I can put it. Just because I tell you I will do this for you doesn't mean that you need to rely on me to do it all the time. If I can give you a ride to work one day or I can give you a ride as you need it, think about what as you need it means. Don't rely on it. But there's a lot of people that say, but all I heard was you'll give me a ride to work. That as you need it, that shit flew out the window. All right? All they're doing is sitting there going, you said you would. You promised me you'd give me this. You promised me you'd do that. Well, yeah, I also had an end to that sentence of when you need it. But then people, they don't fluctuate. But I need it today. They don't stick. They sit there, I need it today and I need it tomorrow and the day after that and the day after. And then we become enablers and a Capricorn will sit there and they will take your shit for about negative 10 seconds. Okay? We'll smile at you And then we'll sit there and you keep asking me for this shit. I'm gonna get mad at you. And then they don't like it because our natural instinct is to be like, I don't care, I'm stubborn as hell. So, but sometimes we can be so stubborn as, I'll do it for you because I said I would. So, Capricorn, you also got to be a person that knows when to just tell people in their own special language, no. I said no. And it hurts and it sucks because we don't want to always be told, oh, you're the stuff, you know, or, but, sometimes wear the title for 10 minutes so that way you can have 10 days of less stress, I guess. It sucks. I gotta learn that half the time too, or tell myself. I have a wonderful fiance that constantly reminds me I don't have to do things for everybody all the time. And that's what I do. I take care of others. I take care of way more people than I probably should. But and it's mostly blood people, blood members, stuff like that. They're the people that can drain the most, to be honest. But make the judgment calls that are good for you and stop cleaning up other people's messes, Capricorn. You know the drill. You didn't, honestly, I'm getting the message of, you didn't even need to tell me that. I already knew it, but thank you for telling me because maybe that little ounce of reinforcement breaks the camel's back a little bit. So, the joys of being the goat in any type of situation, right? Aquarius, you're next. My little Aquarian gang. I am a Aquarian moon, believe it or not. A lot of people don't know that about me. My mom's an Aquarius sun, and me and her heads, but she can't live without me. And I say her because she's the one that's always like, she wants me to go everywhere and do everything with her. She very much is. No matter how pissed I am or anything like that, she still wants me around. And I'm always like, how are you even wanting me near you right now? I'm in such a bad mood. And yeah, she still does. But she's my mom. Yeah, and that's not a whole astrological thing. She's still my mom. But her personality is very clingy, needy, and being a Capricorn, I can't stand the clingy, needy. You can ask Fluff, he will tell you all day long. He's my cute little cuddle bug and everything. And there are times where I'm like, stop touching me. And yeah, fun stuff, right? Aquarius, you've got a lot of good stuff going on here. You got King of Pentacles, you got Four of Pentacles, and you got Nine of Cups. This is all amazing energies. Okay? So King of Pentacles, you're wise within your elements. You've got all your stuff in order. Bills paid, you've got your path going, in the real world, you're on top of your game. Okay? And right now you're making some decisions with money and finance. Okay? And maybe it's where to invest because you're good with money, you're good with everything. So I think you're getting a little playful with it. And whatever it is that you plan on doing, you got the Knight of Wands in reverse. It may not come through with what you actually want to get done, but it doesn't matter because you have this wonderful Nine of Cups, which is emotional fulfillment. You're good with or without something, someone, whatever the case may be, okay? So whatever it is that you're considering doing, you've worked to where if even getting involved in it is not, even if it fell through, it's not going to be the end of you by any means. So you're just looking for something that caps you off, okay? And it is one of those things where whether it comes through or not, I think somebody offered something, or there was something real flashy that was coming through with a lot of heat, and you needed to respond to it right away. And if you decided, nah, I'm good, that was probably a good move. And if you got to respond on something that, needs your attention today, and you're not ready to give it today, you're like, no, I want to spend more time, and that situation kind of lapses on you, Nothing wrong with that, because like I said, you're good. Your emotional your emotions are, your cups are all in a line. You're good. You don't need, you're not in a sense of need at all. Okay? So if a situation is needing of you, you can literally take a step back and do the whole, that's cute that you need me. Uh-huh. And let them continue to need, because you don't have need. Alrighty. So Aquarius, whatever situations are coming up that you're like, did I miss out on anything? You didn't. You didn't. Pisces. All right, Pisces. Last sign of the zodiac. They get the emotions of everything, the attitude of everything. They're a little bit of everything all rolled into one. I love my Pisces. They're just really emotional, but I think, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, if you were dealing with the entire zodiac on top of you, you'd probably be a little emotional too. All right? All right, Pisces, let's see what's going on for you. Let's see what the universe has for you this week. Whoa. We'll take them. Okay. 10 of Pentacles. All right. That is, tens are completion. So a completion of anything. If you had a 10 of Cups, you were at the utmost of emotions. Nothing could get better. 10 of Pentacles. Money is amazing. Everything in your tangible sense is amazing. It could not get any better right now. You've come up from really bad situations. We've discussed this card a couple times today. The Five of Pentacles, you've been through struggles to make things happen. And now you're in a sense of, altogether, you're like, I know the value in hard work. I know the value in struggle. There is value there. And you know what? Not every opportunity was given to you easily. But you knew when to walk away from stuff. The universe gave you 3 cards for this, for your outcome. Ace of Wands in reverse, the Devil in reverse, and the Chariot in the upright. So, you could have been dealing with a Capricorn. You've done your dances with the devil. Let's say it that way. You've been through some shit, and you've moved on so strongly from it that you're like, no, I will never decide to go backwards. I have made my clear conscious decision of what I want in the world, and I know how to do the dance to get it. I know that I can come up from anything. I know that I can balance my life from any situation that can possibly bring me down. You're not afraid of having 20 bucks in the bank, because as long as you can do something with that 20 bucks, you can invest that and make 40 bucks. Invest that, make 80. Invest that 80, make 160. You know that you have the resources. You know that you have the emotional intellect. You have the intelligence and the design and the vigor to make things, to accomplish things for you. And nothing can really hold you down. You're not sitting there waiting for these fast little petty emotion, these quick and easy pyramid scheme type energy. No. You're like, I'm so above all that stuff. I'm so beyond all that stuff. I'm not in this to make bad decisions anymore. I've made my decision. I know what I want. And it's all good for you. And that's something that we need to all remember, finance wise, is, just in the tangible sense, our family, our just anything, our stock, our home, anything like that. We don't need to get caught up in other people's perception of perfection. We have to only be caught up in what works and is perfect for us. And Pisces has really got a strong handle on that. There's a few other signs that have had a really strong handle on that tonight. Virgo was one of them. So was Scorpio. You guys have a really strong handle and have got within you these really strong connections and abilities. And those are amazing things to have. right now, this month, I think, and especially within this year, including last year coming into this year, from the December we had last year, which was still up in the air, which we were still social distancing, we were still doing all kinds of stuff that were keeping us apart. This year we have a little bit more flex in order to be closer together and things like that. We still have challenges in this world. We still got the big C that's running around. We still have things that are really out there and they're real. And we're not letting them bother us the same way. We've been trained, we've been to the gym on this one. We've got some muscle on it. We know how to handle things. Yes, it's still out there. Yes, it's still, in our backyard, whatever the case may be. But we have the tools. We can make the success. We can do the things that we need to be doing. The thing is, we got to do them. And sometimes doing them sucks. It's never fun following the protocols, but we know what we need to do. We've been trained on this. Like we said, been to the gym. We've got to flex on it. So that's all we need to do is do the work. And in many of these signs, a lot of what I'm seeing is either someone needs to do the work or they have been doing the work. So there's about a 50-50 on that, which is really good. A new year, new opportunities. Yes, things can get worse, but they can also get better. And as long as you have the vibrational pull in you to say, it's not going to get better, it is better. And you keep telling yourself every day, it is better. Today is better than yesterday. It is better than the last 10 minutes that I was in. The next hour is better than this hour because I say so. Anybody can rise above. Anybody can take charge. Anybody can be that chariot that just drives forward. The black and white, a positive, negative, a pro and a con, whatever you want to call it. You have the ability to make choice. You have free will. And sometimes we make choices that make us fall. Sometimes we make choices that escalate us. But whatever the case may be, you have that option. So long as there's air in your lungs. So long as you have the free will in order to do so. You're not restricted. Some people are. They've got a life behind bars. They're not really doing a whole lot. But even in their lives, they can still make choices within those restrictions. So tomorrow, when you wake up, actually, no, don't even wait that long. After this stream, evaluate what you have, even if it's 10 cents, even if it's a hug from your partner, even if it doesn't matter what it is. The fact that you have it matters. The fact that you have what you have and you sit there and think of as minimal, somebody is wishing that they had it. I did a stream before where I said, your people are always sitting there making fun of themselves. I'm too big to, I'm too overweight for love. I'm too this, I'm too that. Well, there are some people out there that want nothing more than a big squishy teddy bear. Oh, well, I'm cross-eyed. Well, there's some people out there that like that type of thing. There's some people out there that want, people that are all different shapes and sizes, creeds, genders, whatever the case may be. There's somebody out there for you. There's something out there waiting for you. No matter how bad you are or you think you are, there's somebody out there that wants that. Okay? And you always have the ability to change. And don't let anybody tell you you can't. The only person who matters is you. So go do what you need to do to make you feel like a better you. Don't worry about anybody else's opinion. It doesn't matter about yours. Feel good. Be a strong person. Be a person that can accomplish your dreams because you're the one that's capable. You're the one that's in charge and you're the one that's going to enjoy it. The person in the other people around you, they don't care about the thread count of your sheets because they're not sleeping in your bed. But if you like 1,000 pound or 1,000 thread count Egyptian cotton sheets, buy them because, like I said, you sleep in your bed at night. They don't. So, yeah. With all that being said, and on a closing note, once again, if you would all be so kind as to say a prayer, a positive thought, a well wish, any of the above or all of the above for our dear brother, the traveling buddy, who right now is in critical care. and needs all the prayers and uplifts that he can possibly get. And I dedicate this stream to him. And I dedicate all the knowledge that I have within this horrible virus that, is around, and within just life in and of itself, that I send him my strength. And I send him the love of everybody in this chat. And I send him the love of the entire universe, because he is a strong and amazing person. And I can't wait to see him come back. And I know he's an amazing fighter, and I know he can do it. And I thank every single one of you who have joined me for this live stream, who have listened to all the signs and have sat here the entire time. You guys are amazing. And I wish everybody an amazing week this week. And I will see you all next week. And I will definitely try to get out those all sign readings for each individual sign. Okay, like I said, we're just waiting for the desk to come in to make this a tad bit easier on me. But if not, I can always just film them and put them out. That's okay. I have all the thumbnails waiting. I made those like 5 days ago. But yeah, just time's never on my side. But with all that being said, thank you all so very much. And I love you all. And rise above. All right? You guys all have a great night.